Hey guys, what is up? I am Blossom.
Hey, I'm Udo ADHD.
Hey, so yeah, we were having technical difficulties. That's why we have a third person. So we're just gonna pull this into this. There we go. So that
You froze. Is she freezing for anyone else? You froze.
a trip.
I went to New York City.
Did you know that you froze?
Now I do. How am I?
You're good now.
Okay, so this past weekend, it's Wednesday? So this past weekend, I went to New York City and caught a cold, but also had a really good time. I've actually had, oh my gosh, is that D'Angelo Wallace?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, so this weekend, you're not caring about my weekend, okay? Please care more. Care more. Anyways, so this past weekend, went to New York, and then what else did we do?
For what?
Saw Little Shops of Horror.
For what? For what? For what reason? Oh, you're frozen again. Did you know you were frozen again? Wait, you're muted. Are you muted? I can't hear you.
I'm just freezing. I have no idea what's going on with my Wi-Fi. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. So I changed my internet, and I'm using my phone internet, and see if that works.
Okay. Testing. I didn't hear myself. Okay.
Okay. Cool. All right, Udoka. I guess you don't care about my weekend. How was yours?
Well, I was asking over and over while you were frozen, what happened this Friday? What for? Why'd y'all do that for? What for what?
I mean, it was for Dave's birthday.
Yeah, but we're live.
Okay.
They don't know.
I mean, all right. But in New York, I saw Little Shop of Horrors, and I've never heard of that musical before. And it's like the saddest thing, at least when you see it in theater. It's
sad.
Interesting. Yeah.
It's like a sad show. Are you saying it's sad like it's bad sad?
There's killing involved.
Oh.
So
oh.
Yeah. It's pretty sad for the most part. It's pretty sad. But anyways, it was fun. It was a good time. I definitely want to go back. And I mean, I can go there now, you know what I mean? But it'd be nice to, go up there for another weekend and forget about everything else for once.
So you really like New York. I think you're frozen again. Okay.
No, I just put myself on mute because I was coughing.
Okay.
But I am excited. So Udoka sent me cough drops through Amazon. And the reason why she did it is because she wanted me to try these cough drops that her fiance tries and says that it works. So hopefully they do come tomorrow morning. So I'm hoping that might work. I'm praying that would work. We'll see. But man, this week has been like a lot of drama, a lot of I don't know.
It's
here's the thing. I don't talk about the Dustin Daily and whatever drama. I don't care about that one. I care about the Dave drama. But Zali and I, we resolved it, so everything is good. And we might be going on Paige right on Tuesday, right?
Yes, Tuesday morning. She's supposed to come on here.
Oh.
Dang. I can't wait to see if the cough drops work tomorrow.
Yeah, it's really like, it's the saddest thing, guys. Like, I've been sick since I came back from the UK. Been really sick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's been really
Wait,
super
so
sick.
how did you, when you went to New York?
For some reason, my body was able to kind of like put it on hold, like was able to like.
Like, it's time to have a good ass time. Hold the
Yeah,
time.
like my throat was killing me. I was just trying to be like a trooper. My throat was killing me the whole time, but
Oh.
hell, some may even argue like, you know, this is karma, right? But but yeah, I've been sick since I came back from the UK. And I do have to get surgery, but I've been putting that on hold because of medical reasons. So it's been pretty like, it's been rough for a bit. But anyways, today, was there anything you wanted to talk about, like, before we get into the topics?
No, I'm just excited to have Pity Paige on because I want to ask her about her tweets because it just don't make sense. I mean, on Dave's live stream, we addressed the tweets, right? And everyone's pretty much like, she's just being petty. But I need her to say herself, what was going through your mind with these tweets? I need to hear it from her. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like I've been answering the same questions for
Okay, let me tell you, like the whole discussion of the word karma, I was very over it. Okay, I'm like, we all know what that word freaking means. Can we like move on? Like I don't know, but yeah. So I wonder if Petty Paige will does she have something new? You know, like a new perspective to bring? You know, I'm interested.
Well, the thing is, like, someone can tell me like what karma is, but it's still never going to change the fact on how that situation happened. Like, I was in my house and I was like, I saw on my phone and I was like, oh shit. I felt really sorry for them, but karma got them. I was like, that was my thought. Like, no matter what anyone tells me, that realistically happened. Like,
yeah, but okay, because the conversation about the word karma is, well, what does it mean to you? The way you use it when you thought it in your head, that is a way people use the word karma. You made fun of somebody who passed away. I mean, okay, that's why I'm rolling my eyes. Like, it's just like, please be for real. Stop playing dumb. Like, everybody knows this. Maybe you personally don't use it in that way. Maybe you use it in a different way. Good for you. Like, let's not pretend like you don't know the ways that people use it. So anyway, that's why I was like, oh my God, I'm so over this. Like, are we really getting worked up about this? Anyway. I'm hoping that Paige will bring a different perspective, something new, something fresh, something that's not rehashed and super obvious.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I'm all like, oh, it's so funny because every time I get into like Twitter spats or whatever, I like say what I say and then I just mute everyone. You know what I mean? Like, not even everyone, just like, you know, when you tweet and then I'm not talking about like recent drama, but I'm talking about even like their drama, even like Dustin and Nick and them drama. I just mute. And the thing is, I didn't even realize I had Paige muted because it wasn't until Sunday I was how you know you're getting you know, someone you mute is still sending you something is when I get notifications, but then when you press on it, it's nothing. So you're like, oh, okay. So, you know, like someone that I muted mentioned me or whatever, right? So then I started like looking. I was like, what? I was like, oh, okay. But I just muted a lot of people because I'm like,
Understandable. I was
but
looking at
not
all that
necessarily.
Twitter
And the
back and
only
forth.
and now let me say the only reason I realize I need to like explain myself before we move on. The reason why I muted Paige or so is because sometimes like you know when you have days where you just don't feel like seeing like certain things on social media, and then there's some days where I'm like, okay, I'm open up to seeing everything, you know. So I don't exactly remember honestly the exact thing that made me mute, but I was like, I just remember muting.
Yeah.
But anyways.
You know what's interesting? Looking at all this Twitter back and forth, I understand why you feel the need to explain yourself, because some of these people are
right. Like I don't want to be
bored.
like, oh my gosh, like I'm like, you know.
Some of these people are bored. I can totally see
Yeah.
it. I'm sure in your mind you're like, someone's gonna say, "Oh, why did you mute Petty Page in the first place? What does that mean?"
Yeah.
Sometimes it's okay to like understand that certain things are not a big freaking deal, and it's okay. Like Paige will survive being muted for however many hours she was muted. Like what? Anyway, it
was a long time ago. It was a long time ago.
Oh yeah, and then you forgot to unmute. Okay.
Yeah. That's the only thing about muting is you forget, because I didn't mean to mute her fully because I was really mad I missed out. I mean, I was having a really good time in New York, but I was so mad that I didn't see the notification because I would. But it happened for the best because I would have like responded something, you know, crazy or whatever. But I had such a really great weekend. And what I've also realized from this too is that I'm doing a really great job of handling drama. Here's what I say. A lot of people are laughing at me, whatever. I don't care. I feel like as far as like the mental part and stuff, like usually would like, you know, it would bother me. Shedded, 0 tears. Like 0. None. Nada. Right.
Oh,
and I feel really good. Yeah, I know, right?
I'm mad
And
that tears are even an option. Like,
right, like, well, yeah, it's been like that for like a little of like 2 years. Here's the thing: the good thing about like being canceled, the first 2 or 3 months of starting YouTube is that you kind of get used to people. Like, I already started. But here's the thing: I've already started at the bottom of the barrel, right? As far as like people thinking like I'm trash or whatever, right? So all I can do is literally go up from here. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why I'm kind of like, I think myself some days, not all, but some. I think majority of the days of the year, I do think myself for getting canceled why I first started, because it literally mentally prepared me for me saying anything I want. I used to not be confident. I used to not be like, you know, so strong on like really believe in what I say and have confidence to back that up. I used to second guess a lot of things. I used to be like, oh my gosh, I wonder what this person is thinking. I used to think of all that stuff. But the moment my therapist was saying this, the moment like I guess everyone says it, the moment you realize that what people say is none of your business, you're good. Like what they say about you is like none of your business. Yeah. So after I started, like, I was like, yeah. Cause I'm saying, like, I always now, if I ever like get into any future drama, I'm going to say what I want to say. And that's that. Like, I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? I'm always going to go with my morals. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. And I even, you know, and I can also apologize if I feel like I need to. You know what I mean? I don't. So I don't know. I feel really good about like I'm so surprised on how good I feel. I feel really good.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well,
like I'm very
really
shocked,
glad, girl, because you've heard me say it's a whole bunch of nonsense. Like literally, like when I say nonsense, like Google the definition of that word, nonsense. I'm like, these people are not real. These people are not for real. I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, Sage. Sage goes, hi, hey, y'all. I'm late, but watching 2 times to catch up.
The first 10 minutes was all a glitch. You can skip.
Yeah.
That's okay. We're glad to have you.
But yeah, I don't think I have anything else I would like to add about. You know what, though? I will say this, though. I do like the fact that we just stay on our channel, though. I do like that.
Okay,
like
that's my number one thing, right? I noticed that people are like, go on this channel, go on that channel. What about my channel? It's like, oh, we have a channel, you guys? Like, what? Why would we go travel to a different platform on a completely different website?
Yeah.
To benefit you on another website, make your dollar off of us. Excuse me?
We're supposed to be making it off of you.
You are asking us to speak to you, but you want us to go and make you money over there. No. You can address us, both of us, on our platform because you want to talk to us so bad.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it's I would like for you to get some of the blame. You know what I mean?
Like, I find it very interesting.
I like for you to share.
It's always at Blossom. I'm like,
I think it's because people don't know how to say Udoka. I feel like they're scared to mess it up, and then if they're scared,
and then they'll get canceled for saying name wrong.
That's what I think it is. That's what I think. I'm like, hold up, because this isn't the first time. Even last year, like I felt like, hold up, you know what I mean? Like I'm not saying because let's be fair, like you've received a lot of my hate, but I don't feel like it's equal. You know what I mean?
It's definitely not.
It's not equal. Like, so can we please equally hate us? Okay, thank you.
Right? Like, yeah. I don't know. No, but I always remember there was something. If you know, you know. I don't even know if you'll know what I'm referring to, but there was something that I said. It came out of my mouth. You actually said, let's not do that. No. And somehow you got blamed for that. I'm never going to forget that. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't,
I don't even know what you're talking about, actually.
Okay, that's fine. Fine.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I'm not going to say. Let's let them Twitter finger about it, okay? I'm not even going to say.
All right. I don't. All right. Well, do we have any more comments before we get into today's stream?
Yeah, if you're thinking I want them to come on my live stream, then hit up the Twitter. What's their Twitter? Right and Wrong or something?
Yeah, Right and Wrong, but 2 G's for the wrong.
Right. That is the Twitter. And you can come on our channel. Don't beg us to go on your channel. Don't try to guilt trip us to go on your channel. Don't try to, you're just scared. It makes you look bad. Ain't nobody give a damn. It's motherfucking YouTube and 100 people gonna watch it. It's not that serious. Come on our channel, have a laugh, have a kiki, have a good time, and keep it pushing. And make, you know what I'm saying? Let's you scratch each other's backs right now. You're not gonna eat off us like that so easily. You know, like just stop thinking like we're little mats that you're just gonna drag wherever you want. Okay? The same way you think about yourself, we also think about ourselves. So just, keep that in mind. Okay. That's for the next person who want to tweet at Blossom, at the air, at whatever. They should come on my channel. Just remember that. Okay.
Okay. I don't know why that was really funny to me. Okay. Anyways, so let's talk about the Trisha Paytas and Colleen podcast.
Oh, yeah. So you are the one who told me about it. And before it even aired, I just saw all these videos about it. Like, oh, it's problematic. It's this and that. And I was like, what did they say they're going to talk about? So then I watched, you can see how far I got. And they're just talking about like childbirth and their mental illnesses. I mean, I don't know.
No, it's true. Like, I listened for a bit. I was working, and it honestly was just about life, about, oh yeah, that happened to me too, and like addiction.
Right.
I think they talked about, but that was it.
Yeah, and I didn't get all the way to the end, but I'm just like, this is so not controversial. I need to turn on my fan real quick. So I don't know if there's something that went on. I saw that like Colleen posted 2 weeks ago an apology video. I don't know what for. Girl, I can't keep up with the apologies. I
I
can't
saw
keep
it
up.
too, but I was like, I'm not watching this. I don't care enough about
I
your
don't know what
apology.
happened. What happened now? The
Actually,
apology.
funny story, how there's a little tree with Colleen. So when I was in college, I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to take up acting. And I applied for this contest, acting contest called ITV or TiVo, ITV, either way. Oh no, UB TV, UB. and and so I was like one of the people that was able to go on and actually like act in this project thing. But her ex-husband is the guy that was in charge of it. And her ex-husband, I like was able to act with and acted with. And then they got a divorce and stuff, but like that's how I'm like I didn't know Colleen from YouTube. I knew Colleen because her ex-husband, that's how I first knew her. So yeah. So I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know about like, YouTube and stuff. And it was crazy because, her ex-husband was super, super, super religious. He was a virgin when he married her. That's pretty much public information. I think it's public information. Okay. And so yeah, and that's how I know of her. So that's so funny that she's a YouTuber because I had no idea. I knew her from that. But yeah.
Oh wow, I just knew her from when she did Miranda Sings, but back before it was like widely understood as a character.
Oh, I want to like also add. I feel like I have to add everything. So like people, I did not win this acting contest. Okay, I was the most I got out of it was like a T-shirt. So there we go. Okay.
Oh, I was saying I was taking a singing class, and the teacher, there's like some opera song she wanted me to sing that's very popular. And when I Googled it, it was Colleen, but she was Miranda Sings. And this was before people knew that's an act. I thought it was real. And I sent it to my teacher and I was like, do you want me to sing it like this? When she saw me in class, she was like, oh my gosh, she's
oh wait. Sage says that so I'm clueless about the Dave Page karma topic. What happened?
So Sage, it was about the last live stream we did where we were calling out Justin Daly and Nick Snyder for basically being upset that another T channel called them out. People were upset with the word karma. Blossom said that when she got home, she asked herself, is this karma? And people got upset about that. We got on Dead on Dave, that's his username, Dead on Dave's show, live stream. And we had a whole discussion about it. In the meantime, Petty Page tweeted at Blossom that, well, she tweeted a lot of nonsense, okay, but ultimately asking to have Blossom go on whatever her platform is to talk. And now we're saying, excuse you, you want to talk to us? Come over here. Thank you. And actually, it's arranged. So we will have a conversation Tuesday morning. Mm-hmm. Well, morning for us, nighttime for her. So yeah, that's the summary. Sage Moon says, Colleen's apology video was about the chicks she got. Something happened to them, but I don't remember what. I find it interesting when people get upset about, I'm not even going to say what I was going to say, because I don't even know what happened. But I don't know what happened to those chicks. I just know that a lot of people eat chicken. So I don't know. I hope.
Oh my
I just
gosh.
hope.
Oh my gosh, it's funny. I had a feeling you were gonna say that. I was like, is she gonna say something like that?
But you know, I hope it wasn't anything like, you know, you don't want to like watch an animal suffer, you know. I hope it's nothing like that. But
Right.
yeah, I don't know.
You said a lot of people eat chicken. So there should, are you saying there should not be an outrage because a lot of people eat chicken?
I don't know. I don't know what happened, you know, like I don't know. There's things that you can do to chickens that, you know, I think that would outrage me because it's kind of sick and sadistic, you know. But, you know, just depends what it is. I don't know.
Is she a vegetarian? Is she a vegetarian? Do you know?
Oh, you know, a lot of vegans, if you are vegan or vegetarian and you get caught eating chicken and stuff.
Trisha Paytas.
Oh.
Like literally, she's such a troller. She's such a troll because she had a video of her eating KFC chicken, and then the next video was, I'm vegan.
Trisha Paytas is something else. She's a trip. She's always been a trip. So I heard they're going to make a documentary about her, and I think they should. I think that would be very interesting. And I also want a documentary about Gabby Hanna.
Oh, there is a documentary?
No, they will make a doc. Well, it's rumored that there's going to be a documentary about Trisha Paytas. Yeah.
Well, no, it's not even rumored. She said it. I mean, she made a video.
Did?
Oh, she did a video, full video. Guys, I have a documentary, and it was like even reached out to her haters. It was like, hey, contact me so that way you can be in the documentary and why you hate me.
Yeah, that'd be great. She's on it again. Like her whole career has been about just being ridiculous to get a reaction out of people. And even with this documentary, like if you hate Trisha Paytas, you can contribute to this documentary.
Right.
Which just benefits her in the end. Everything always ends up benefiting her.
No, but didn't you realize, we realized why Trisha Paytas over this past week does what she does. We realized, you know, if you're hated enough, even Cardi B says this, like, you know, your haters are still supporting you. You know what I mean?
Benefiting you. Yeah.
The fact that our watch time has gone up so much than what the year we had last year, and it went up in like, you know, a week. We were like, awesome, you know, and then it really showed, and I was like, okay. I see why Trisha Paytas does what she does, because her haters.
I know why Trisha. The thing about Trisha, like you can tell whenever she does something unintentionally and it gets a rise, and then you can tell when she's doing it on purpose.
Right. Like the witch one, the witch. When she was a witch.
One? Oh, when she was saying she's a witch.
Yeah.
She was like, no, I think she actually believes in.
I don't, because as soon as she got knocked up, she was not a witch.
Oh, I think it was just like at that time it was super trendy on TikTok. There was witch talk, so I think it was just, girl, that whole phase was something. She was a new person every week. I mean,
I know. It is so funny.
Oh, thank you, Say. Say says that she'll be there to watch the live web page. And then I think the controversy for Colleen's pod is that Colleen's reputation is more pristine, and her working with Trish is her basically turning a blind eye to the communities that Trish hurt.
Some may argue her reputation isn't pristine, and
I was about to. I thought,
look, I hate Adam McIntyre, but I guess she did send him like an underwear when he was a minor.
I have such an opinion on that.
I know. It's just there's really a lot I can say about it, but at the same time, it will come off really wrong. So I'm not gonna say it.
She well, okay, so she definitely has a more pristine image than Trisha, and Colleen has more of a commercial viability. I don't know the word to say. But when they, like, in the intro of the podcast, Colleen is saying, we've both been canceled so many times. We both keep getting into trouble online. So
people don't like Colleen.
Yeah, I feel like there's actually quite a lot of people who really dislike Colleen, and they're always trying to cancel her for some reason. So I get why. Well, the two of them say they love talking to each other and stuff like that, so they're friends.
No,
So
they did a mukbang, and I'm sure that's when they conjured up this idea, because they did a mukbang recently.
Yeah, they're actually friends. Yeah, they are friends.
Yeah.
So I guess the critique, Sage, is probably coming from Colleen's fans, who feel like Colleen never did anything as bad as Trisha. You know, they probably feel like, why are you working with her? She hurt so many communities.
Well, I don't care who Trisha works with. I think it would have been, no offense, because I was like so against this idea. I think I made a whole video about it. When Trisha was with Keemstar, like when Keemstar asked Trisha if they could do a podcast together, I think that would have been a perfect, but they live on both, one lives in New York, the other one lives in LA. So
I wouldn't watch that. I guess I just don't like Keemstar. So
right, but a lot of people didn't like Trisha or Ethan, and they watched because of what happened, what they were talking about, the material and everything, their personalities.
They were just funny. It was together. They're just funny. It was just good entertainment. I don't know. I don't know how Keem's energy would be. But yeah, who knows if this will be the first and last podcast they post. Like, there's no schedule. They don't have a schedule. They don't have promo. They're literally just doing it, winging it, vibing it.
I do think they're going to talk drama. I do believe they are going to talk some type of drama. There's no way they can continue this and just talk about
if they
childbirth,
continue this, yes, for sure.
Maybe relationship problems. I can see that definitely coming up. Relationship problems, and then you'll see a bunch of thumbnails the next day of Trisha Paytas says Moses she hasn't had whatever in a while. I don't know. You know what I mean? So, but anyways,
that would be interesting. Yeah. So, yeah. Good luck to Colleen and Trisha.
And I know you wanted to talk about IDUBBBZ.
Oh yeah. Yes.
And Dave said that he explained IDUBBBZ to you.
He didn't explain it to me. He just yeah, no, I didn't need him to explain that to me. I get it. What he did make me aware of was that IDUBBBZ, his girlfriend, she admits to being the one who told him to go and do this whole stuff.
Okay, well, that's what I mean.
Okay, yeah, okay.
He talked to you about IDUBBBZ, correct?
Yes. Well, okay. More specifically, IDUBBBZ's girlfriend.
Okay.
Is her name Anissa? I don't know. There's too many. Whenever you're trying to get caught up on some tea, and there's just so many long videos, and it's okay, I don't know. So I didn't have time to read.
Question: what happened to IDUBBBZ?
Okay, people don't know. IDUBBBZ made an apology. IDUBBBZ made an apology video, basically apologizing for his casual racism, apologizing directly to Tana Mojo for what he did, and I don't know, just other stuff. Basically apologizing for cultivating a space on YouTube that we hated. Those Shane Dawson days where Shane Dawson would literally be in blackface and the video is recommended on YouTube's homepage. And if you comment, hey, this is blackface, this is wrong. You get all these comments calling you the N-word, okay? He did help cultivate that. He had a whole bunch of fans who felt like it's okay to say those words because IDUBBBZ says it. And I think IDUBBBZ tells the story of how he met a trans fan. And this fan said, I know you probably don't like trans people, but I'm a huge fan and I hope you'll take a picture with me. And that just broke his heart. And he was like, well, of course, I'm using all these slurs. What would make them think I care about them? Like, no shit, Sherlock. Anyway, also his girlfriend is a SW. I don't know if she has OnlyFans. Am I allowed to say OF? I say OF.
Yeah.
And his fans are constantly mocking them and harassing her and harassing him for dating her. And that also made him realize it's karma. It made him realize this is what he cultivated. This is the kind of audience he attracted. And this is what they do. It's just that back then when he was saying the slurs, they weren't being mean to him because they were enjoying saying the slurs with him. And now they're throwing it back at him. So anyway, he made this apology.
So I wish a lot of people could kind of resonate with his realization. You know what I mean? I wish they could understand what he realized what happened. You know what I mean? Because think about it. People don't take it seriously when they see the hard ER, the N word with the hard ER, and they just type it into the chat and type it and think it's funny. Look, oh, I said the N word, oh, you know. But them laughing at that, we're just joking at it because you guys are idiots. Oh, like you guys are gonna get mad over anything. Let's just get them mad, oh, right? But at the end of the day, when you do that, you're cultivating an audience that you're telling them that this is the place where they can say the most hateful things. This is the place where, and you know what I mean? And they carry that and they bring it to, and it applies to real life stuff. So it's like,
yeah,
people can say what they want, but like like
what, you have freedom of speech, whatever, but don't pretend like you don't know those words are offensive, and it's not. And they want to say it's just a word, but it's not just, words mean things. And when you say certain words, it conveys a message. So you're conveying that message. And I think IDUBBBZ realized that even though I'm just joking, I'm not serious, I'm being ironically racist. It's for comedy. You can say that all you want, but it's still conveying a message. And he had to be in the hot seat. He had to experience and see for himself that still is still giving them permission to speak that way.
But many people are like making fun of him. Like it is absolutely insane to me. Because okay, but here's the thing. Like I get he was an absolute piece of shit. Like I understand fully. I understand it. But like when someone is like realizing, oh hey, I effed up in a big way. Like, oh my gosh, I have this realization. Like, why are they not? Yes, people have the right to respond, but it just seems like people are making fun of him for apologizing.
But if you really think about it, the people making fun of him are his audience, which are the people who enjoy comedy that casually uses these slurs left and right. So of course they're upset. Of course they're mad. And it's like they cannot believe that a white, am I allowed to say that? You're a man of Euro descent. They can't believe that a man of Euro descent is able to reflect on these things. They think it's some woke overlord that's telling them what to do, and like and that really, that's just so disheartening. Like you are so deep in this desire to be hateful that you can't even believe that a man of your descent could reflect on this and regret being that way. That's very sad to me, unfortunately. And Sage Moon says, I have a hard time accepting the apology because the impact of his digital footprint surpasses the internet. It carries over into real life, just added to the trash marginalized folks deal with. And there's so many stories like that. Like, if you go into the comment section, you'll see all these stories of these kids and former kids talking about how they were harassed because of their sexuality and their race or whatever. And it's all because the kids were watching IDUBBBZ. Like, they're watching IDUBBBZ, so they'll say, well, IDUBBBZ says it. They'll literally say, well, IDUBBBZ says it, why can't I? And I've seen people say things like, IDUBBBZ, you're overestimating your impact. Like, you really think you're the voice of a generation? But he is. And if not, he represented it, because he was not the only one who had this behavior. It was rampant over YouTube, and IDUBBBZ was certainly a very popular one. And I think it's fine if somebody who he actually apologized to doesn't accept the apology. People who are in those groups, if you don't accept the apology, I completely understand that. I mean, like, it's 2023. Why'd it take so dang long? Yeah. But what I find interesting is a lot of the people who are trying to say that he didn't need this apology are people who are not part of these marginalized groups. They're people who he's not even apologizing to. So why do you have such an opinion on something that's not even for you?
Right.
There's a certain, that sense of entitlement, I don't know. It's very interesting, and it's also disheartening, because you see yourself as so self-important that you will comment on something that's not even about you. And then make fun of the people it is about, to boot.
Did you get it all out?
And then Sejmu said, and it's very annoying how many people are accepting this apology when they weren't impacted. Oh, that's another thing. People of Euro descent that these apologies were not for, except Tana Mojo, because he's apologizing to Tana Mojo. But everyone else, why are you accepting why are you declining or accepting apologies when the apology is not to you? Why do you do that? I hope somebody comments and explains to me, why do you do that? Why do you decline and accept apologies or dismiss apologies that are not for you? And then the Tana Mojo thing, I'm actually impressed that he even mentioned that Tana Mojo thing, because I didn't watch IDUBBBZ a lot, but I was aware of him because I watched H3 Productions. And Ethan and Ela actually kind of talk about their view of the apology too. But that's how I knew. I just knew that I just saw him as not, I don't know if what is right before incel, edgelord. I just saw him as an edgelord. An edgelord, and to me, if you're an edgelord, yeah, okay, you're probably right. You're like racism light or whatever. So I just had no interest in him. And but everybody knew about that Tana Mojo thing. And what was going through my head at that time was like, I get it. Like, I get how you thought this would be an epic win. Like, I can see why you thought that was funny, but you were stalking a minor to go and scream the N-word. Yeah. And you went like across the country. I mean, like, if you really think about this is very weird. This is very...
That really should have been a moment of like, what am I doing? But, you know.
I know, this should have been like, wait, hold on. Like, before you filled your tank to drive to the other side of the country, you should have like paused halfway through, like, wait, what am I
No, not that part. The part where like she reacted, you know, her reaction. Like
her reaction. What do you mean? Like when he saw her reaction to what he did?
Like she reacted like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? She reacted.
Like, you know what happened when she reacted? They used it as fuel to make more fun of her. They're like, oh, she's lying. She said that he grabbed her neck, but clearly his arm was just around her shoulder. Okay. What the fuck? Okay, like that doesn't make it not weird. That doesn't make it not. And I'm not like, I'm not. So the other thing I'm noticing is people are trying to say, well, a lot of these people needed to be called out though, and like, yeah, like I agree, Tana Mojo needed to be called out because the whole reason he did that was because she was caught saying the N-word with a hard ER.
Yeah.
Even though his own fan base does that, but anyway, but the way you went about it it is actually disturbing. The way you went about it. Let me see what you said. Okay, so very annoying how many people are accepting this apology when they weren't impacted. So many larger platforms commending him and brushing over the long-lasting harm. I appreciate larger platforms at least. I feel like they need to commend him because to counteract the people trying to dismiss him.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think so.
And I think I'm happy with it because I don't think this was something he ever needed to do. And so you can tell this obviously came from a place of just being really genuine. This came from on a human to human level type of thing. So, just because this was something he did not have to do, I do.
That's
yeah, like I do like applaud him a little bit here because he did not have to do this. He could have gone on his merry way, and everything would have been fine. And
right.
He still did this. So,
and that's it. And all the people who are trying to dismiss him are saying, "You didn't have to do this. Why did you feel that you had to do this?" They're trying to imply that the only reason he's doing this is because for some reason he had to do it. That maybe his girlfriend is forcing him to do it, or his income is going down, so he feels he has to do it. Like whatever reason, they feel like he had to do it. When no, you're 100% right. He did not have to do this. It is possible for a man of your descent to sit down and think like, I was an idiot and I want it to be publicly known that I do not stand with the content that made me famous. Do I accept his apology? I kind of don't, but I appreciate that he's making that public. I appreciate that he did that.
For me, I don't know.
I mean, like I don't watch him. Like I don't know. I don't watch him
either. I don't watch him either. So
yeah, so that's why it's kind of like, okay, I guess I applaud you for making this public and just letting it be known because he does have fans who are part of those marginalized groups, and I'm sure to those fans this meant the world. I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then it's funny because I wanted to see what Ethan said because when Ethan was doing H3 Productions, when he was doing the skits, IDUBBBZ went on there and it made me feel uncomfortable because I was like, why are you friends with this incel edgelord guy? It made me feel really uncomfortable. And then I stopped watching him when he started his podcast, and apparently he's saying the N-word in the early days of his podcast.
Great.
So people are like, Ethan, shut up. So I get that too.
I want to hear Ethan.
Oh, okay. Let's pick a segment. Can you hear the audio?
No, I can't. Oh no.
Let's see. Share tab audio. Oh, wait. Okay, share the screen.
Y'all think the beating Jordy gave me was bad? Check out the beating IDUBBBZ is giving his career.
Oh boy.
Well, let me put it this way.
Okay, buddy.
People said the same thing about me, and I feel that our career has never been higher or better. People think that because they don't watch you, your career is over. Well, guess what, Boogie? I mean, I don't fucking want you. I don't want people.
Actually, the highest of Ethan's career was during Frenemies, but let's keep it. This wasn't the highest. When you go back and look on views, you can go to Social Blade and you'll see he actually received more views during Frenemies.
Oh, wow. I mean, yeah. I believe it. I mean, two people with massive audiences coming together, and like the content is so entertaining that brand new people who didn't know either of them are watching can't be beat. Can't be beat. Let me see what he said earlier.
Or sort of defensive-ish about it or things like that. Just not always being fully open. And I feel like for the first time, he's actually talking openly. And I really like that. I've always wanted to see more of that from him because it's just, that's what people really want. We just want to really hear you talk and just know you.
I've been personal friends with him for a long time.
Yes.
You know, and so the dude I know has always been a really great, nice, supportive, kind person, you know. And he went through something that I went through a few years ago.
And me and you always knew this was going to happen to IDUBBBZ too.
Because we knew the conflict. We knew that all the kids running around saying the N-word because IDUBBBZ says it was okay, that he was not.
That's not what he wants.
He was not down
in the
with
world.
that. Yeah, he was not down with that. So I guess we knew the reckoning was coming. Because there is just a ton of reactionary little shitheads online, you know, and they used to be my fans too, which is what happened to me.
Yeah, that's another thing that made me start to change how I consume Ethan's content, because on H3H3 Productions, he was making fun of ridiculous people, ridiculous situations. And a lot of it, some of it is like leftist stuff. And I started noticing that the people in his comments were like, yeah, they were like being racist and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, but Ethan's not racist. He's not trying to poem the libtard. This person's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then when I saw him with IDUBBBZ, I was like, oh no, like, what does this mean? And so I had to come to grips with like realizing like, oh, I'm not a bigot, but I think Ethan's content is appealing to the bigots. And now, you know, whenever he says something that's too woke, because I always wonder, why do conservatives get so mad at Ethan Klein? Like, why are you so mad at Ethan? And it's because they used to be his fans. They used to think he was like IDUBBBZ, that he was like them. So that's an interesting thing to me.
They don't want to be told that. They don't want to face it, man. You know what I mean? It's like, if he's wrong, not us. It's Ethan that are wrong. They went soft, not us. We're right and they're wrong. And it's not even necessarily like a condemnation of his fans. I enjoyed his content back then. I mean, everybody enjoyed his content, cops. I don't think they were all
I didn't. It made me so uncomfortable.
super problematic.
Like, I don't know. Like, I know that I did see like I did see every now and then one where he said no slurs and he was coming after somebody who needed to be called out, but child, I don't know. I mean, like, just because there was a few good ones doesn't mean like the bad ones were not there.
Right.
By any means, but some were. And it's okay if you enjoyed it, like, at the time, but like, let's just be real about what it was, which is what he's doing, full open palms. And you know, this is what growth is. This is what maturing is.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like. And sadly, it's almost become a virtue today, at least in American culture, to not change. That's the virtue. Like, we were watching.
Oh yeah, that's a criticism. I think people are trying to say that he's not being authentic, you know, because this is not how you used to be. You've changed. This is not the real you. You're not authentic. You're fake.
Right. Like, it's so weird when people change because you never really know, like.
I know, you don't know if it's real.
Right.
It's like, and I think Dave was telling me that some of the guys think it's not real, which, you know, I don't know. Maybe y'all know him better than I do. I don't know. But Dave was telling me that the girlfriend orchestrated the Tana Mojo thing, that it was her idea and that the girlfriend filmed it and was laughing about it and like just not caring at all. And Dave was telling me that, you know, where is her apology? Which, I mean, yeah, fair enough. She should apologize, but I don't know why. I don't think that should take away from what IDUBBBZ is doing. And IDUBBBZ is like Like, let's be real. IDUBBBZ is the main guy. IDUBBBZ is the one who literally followed through with it and did it and posted it and published it and harped on it. And I mean, I don't know. I see them as two separate things. I think the fans see them as like one entity, maybe. I don't know, but oh, Sage said, unfortunately, I have had to come to grips with the questionable nature of H3 and friends. They come off as liberal, racist, bigots at times. Yeah, I know what she means by that. I call that fake woke. And certain jokes, the people around gets on the pod. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Oh yeah, that weird alpha dude arguing with a woman on one of these red pill shows.
Yeah.
And he goes, I will never change.
Yeah.
You can tell me 85 different ways and I will be the same person. And it's like, well,
Yeah, I loved her response. How she was like, "Isn't that a little bit of a limited mindset?"
because he was saying the same shit. She
Yeah.
was just quoting him back. And so, it's becoming this virtue to grow, or somehow growing or changing your mind. It means that you are a liar. It means that you're a hypocrite. I don't know who said this. Maybe Mark Twain, but it's very good. It's very poignant. That a hypocrite is sometimes just a man who's changing. You know what I mean?
Dude, Mark Twain, cringe as fuck, bro.
Mark Twain.
Personal growth, cringe.
You're a fucking
Was that a Mark
hypocrite.
Twain quote?
I'm looking at it right
Yeah.
now.
What?
Sometimes a hypocrite is nothing more than a man that is in the process of changing.
Yeah. That's
That's a Brandon Sanderson quote.
who's that?
He's like a fantasy.
And the people that support him can know that he's changed and this is his opinion. But Boogie talking about anybody's career is remarkable. I mean,
Yeah, he needs to space out his L's a little bit.
right.
Too frequent.
True. I mean, Boogie, my God, man.
It's just such a prime example that a lot of these dudes, they just want to jump on the hate train. They don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. He thought he was going to be praised for this, and he just looks like a dumbass. I'm sorry.
Well,
Yeah, that's something that I've learned over this week too. Like, that's why I was saying these people are not real on Twitter. When I was reading stuff on Twitter, I was like, these people are not real. It's like they just want to just jump on the hate train. Like, it's just entertainment. It's just fuel. It doesn't mean anything. It's like taking a dump in the road. Like, yeah, like it felt real nice in that quick moment and move on. Like, it's not, y'all are not real. I don't know why Jimmy Lee is still an H3 celebrity. I don't know who Jimmy Lee is. Hi, Sophia Martinez. Welcome. I don't know who Jimmy Lee is. Do you know, Blossom?
Nope.
Oh. But yeah, so
And I do want to say, guys, the reason why I'm not like talking as much is because I've just been coughing for days, for centuries. So I've been trying to like having some respiratory problems at the moment. So I would love to comment more, but it's just challenging at the moment.
Yeah,
Or
I
it's
don't
karma.
know anything about Anissa. I just real quick.
Did you hear me, Udoka?
Huh?
Or it's karma.
Oh yeah. It's the karma. Somebody on that video was like, karma is gonna get you bigger than you even know how. I was like, okay. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's how karma works, but you got mad that we said that. But I'm just real quick looking up IDUBBBZ's girlfriend, Anissa. I don't know anything. Where's the filters? This week.
I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay. Anissa IDUBBBZ. Oh, it's three B's. Anissa IDUBBBZ this week. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they've told me that Anissa admitted to all this and she needs to apologize, but I don't know. I don't see anybody talking about Anissa. And everything that I've heard about Anissa has just been misogynistic. So I don't even know. I mean, I believe you that she owned up to that. So she's like, that's crappy. And
I still don't.
But I don't know.
Like-
I don't know. I can't find content. And the only content I see looks kind of misogynistic. Jimmy Lee, the racist dentist, the comedian. Let me see. Jimmy Lee. Wait, is it this guy? I remember this guy. Well, I never seen him on the podcast, but like these days, these Ethan and Hila days, when their videos used to be like this, I watched this because it's like, yeah, one freaked up dentist. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, he is racist in the videos. So yeah, I think, yeah, Ethan was bringing on these people, right? Because Ethan would make fun of these kind of people. And then when he had the podcast, he will bring them on. I understand. No worries, Blossom. Hope you feel better. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's interesting. He still has them come on. Oh my goodness. So let me see. I don't want to move on to another topic while she's still out. So I actually had this creator. Her name is Unpoetic Justice. She did not accept. She did not accept his apology. So I wanted to go through some of her points. Let me see if I have this speed. It's my first time seeing this creator. She has 9,000 subscribers. So if you dig her, check her out. Oh.
For all intents and purposes, was an apology video for his past behaviors. Unlike most commentators when these type of videos come out, I'm not going to pick apart his apology and speculate on whether or not it's genuine. For creators and influencers, I tend to operate on the assumption of presumed authenticity until proven otherwise. At around the 7-minute mark of the 17-minute long video is when we hear for the first time, "I'm sorry." And this apology was actually made in reference to the actual creators he made videos on, most notably Tana Mojo, considering his Tana Mojo content cop was probably his most infamous.
I'm sorry to everyone that I made content cop videos on. I still don't like the majority of you, and that's fine, but I can recognize that you did not deserve the hate and harassment that I sent your way. I particularly want to apologize to Tana. Tana, I'm sorry. I should have never made that video. I harassed Tana in person and then harassed her online.
Right after that, he apologizes to the Black community for his past reasonings of using racial slurs.
I'm also sorry to all the Black viewers and minority groups who had to put up with that video and put up with, you know, the phrases. I said either it's all okay or none of it's okay.
One could critique the ordering of that apology, meaning he chose to apologize to a white woman before addressing the Black community for an issue that surrounds and targets that community. But a couple of months ago, when I talked about why influencers may lie to their audiences, one of the reasons I considered is an inability to view their audience as actual human beings, as in we are only conceptual beings to most influencers. The ordering of his apology is consistent with this theory. He may elevate empathizing with Tana because she is truly a physical being to him. He has seen her, spoken to her, experienced her. The online Black viewership may be secondary to that interaction, not because we are Black, but because he has not experienced us personally. This is further proof.
And that's something I was noticing on Twitter. The way these content creators, many of whom are of Euro descent, many of whom are not of Afro descent, I'll say. It's interesting the way they talk about us. They talk about us like we are a thing. Like they'll say someone is politically left-leaning, so they can't be racist or something like that. They'll talk about us like we are a political talking point, like as if you're discussing the economy or, you know, how are the United States relations with Cuba? You know, that's how they talk about us, a whole people that are categorized in a certain way because of a caste system that was created in this country. And I call that out every time I see it. Every time I see it, I have to call it out. It is disheartening to feel like, do I need to remind you that we're people? We're not a political talking point. We're not a thing that you can believe in that makes you right-leaning or left-leaning or centrist. We are actually just people. We're actually just human beings, just like you, non-Afro descent person. So like when she said that, when she said that, I was like, is this a reach? But get what she's saying, because I noticed that too.
When he recounts one of the situations that led him to really seeing the error in his ways, he describes an interaction with a transgender fan who assumed he did not like or care for trans people.
Now I want to talk about events and situations that have happened over the past 5 years of my life that have led me to the place I'm at now. One year I was at a convention and a bunch of fans were, wanting pictures, and this particular fan came up to me and said, "I know you probably don't like transgender people, but can I, get a picture?" That smacked me in the face. I was like, "Oh, holy shit."
I can understand why that one-on-one experience was worth more to him than the dozens of critique videos that exist solely to refute his actions. It is much harder to confront the realities of your actions when the victims of it are standing right in front of you. If Ian were truly bigoted to his core, rather than just an individual who lacked experience and perspective, he would have taken that fan's words and immediately pushed the blame onto the fan's personal perception of him. Had he said something along the lines of, "Well, I never said that I don't like trans people. You assumed that, you idiot," it would have confirmed actual bigotry to me, because at the core of bigotry is the inability to reckon with yourself and how you may impact others. And lastly, he then goes on to apologize to his very own wife, Anissa, who has had to bear the brunt of the incels within his audience.
A very big thing that has sort of altered my view on all of this is just the amount of hate and harassment my wife Anissa has received over the years. She's had to deal with it from the beginning of our relationship, and I have done a horrible job at acknowledging her and her feelings for it. A lot of the time I just thought that was her problem. It's not my problem that you're getting hate and harassment. And it's like, no, it absolutely is.
What a horrible boyfriend. What a awful boyfriend. He said, "That's not my problem. It's not my fault you're getting hate and harassment online." How old is this man? Wait. How old was he when he met his girlfriend? This man is 32 years old. Anissa IDUBBBZ. Girlfriend. I don't know. How do I say? What do I call her? She's a Twitch. Oh, I'm not even sharing my thing. Okay. She's a Twitch. Y'all, I sound like I'm a 50-year-old who's never seen computers before. What is this Twitch that you speak of? What is a Twitch streamer? IDUBBBZ girlfriend age. I don't know. She's 29.
So,
oh,
guys, I hate when people do this.
Oh God, what happened? Why did you have to end?
No. We're not ending.
Oh, okay.
But I just heard some tea. I can share it. I can't share it though.
Text me. Text me right now, and I'm just gonna continue.
So that's the reason why I was not here.
Okay, text me. We're watching this girl's take on the apology.
Okay.
She does not accept the apology, and she's going through some good points.
Okay, let's see. Okay.
Sejman, yeah. So yeah, we just heard.
I'm on my phone, Yudoka, so I can't text you right now.
Okay. Oh. Okay, send me in the private chat. And I'm just gonna keep talking to the audience. So yeah, I'm gonna keep pushing play, but now I'm really interested. That's very sad. How long have they been dating? They've been dating for, he said, that's not my problem. Anissa IDUBBBZ started dating when? Since 2016. So if he's 32 now, he started dating. Wait, so he was 25. So 25, 26. Who knows how long he was saying that? And he's telling her, it's not my fault you're getting harassment online. That's your problem. Oh my God.
That's the culture that I cultivated, and I, didn't do anything to change that.
There has been so many misogynistic takes on Anissa. I understand that she is roped into her own controversies, but it was always uncalled for when it came to her starting an OnlyFans. At the end of the day, I find most apologies to be utterly useless. People mistakenly assume that an apology is an equivalent to a true acknowledgement of someone else's pain or a call to action to change. When creators apologize, I do tend to ignore the actual apology. Instead, I analyze the words and mannerisms around the words, "I'm sorry." I want to see if the person actually understands what they did wrong, which is normally shown through explaining what they did wrong and how it hurt others. And then I want to see them actually carry out exactly what IDUBBBZ said, a goal of creating a more positive impact in space.
I have made content that I'm proud of over the years. It hasn't been as consistent as maybe I'd like it to have been, but you know, there was a lot of content that I think had a net positive on the world, and you know, I'm going to strive to continue on that trend. But again, I'm absolutely going to continue to make mistakes, but I want the mistakes to be a lot smaller and a lot less serious.
Show us through your actions that you have altered your beliefs, whether that be through direct activism, which I really don't expect from most people, or by simply creating good-natured videos and content that is truly authentic to yourself and your values. Because whether or not you make political or social commentary content, your actual values will always shine through your videos. I said earlier that I felt an unease while watching some of Ian's newer content before watching this new apology video of his. And it was because there was a past lack of acknowledgement for his actual role in shaping that commentary space on the YouTube platform. His influence is so great that people are now writing academic sociological essays about him. He is a literal part of internet history. The direct acknowledgement of his past behaviors will not reverse the impact, but at least it does the one thing.
And I hate when I hear people say, "You're not that important, dude." Like, no, that would be like saying Shane Dawson did not contribute to YouTube history. Like, I don't know. Some of these people who are dismissive of this, I'm like, you're not clearly thinking. And somebody who like really surprised everyone is this guy, Penguins0. I think his name is Charlie. Oh, he just uploaded something. I'm not going to watch it. Did he delete it? Wait a minute. Did he delete that take? So Charlie was basically saying like, it's not that big of a deal. Why did you didn't need to apologize, bro? Like, I don't know. You know, he was basically just saying all the wrong things. And Penguin0 is someone who I don't watch their content, and I haven't even seen them necessarily say something bad, but just for some reason I associate them with like edgelords. I don't know why. So when I was looking in his comment section, I was like very pleasantly surprised that all of his fans were telling him, "Bad take, bro. How did this go over your head, bro?" Like everyone was criticizing him and people were making videos about him and his bad take, and I guess he unlisted it or deleted it. Wow. I'm not watching this. I don't know. Like, yeah, like when this is what it is. He plays video games. You know, if you're a gamer and you film,
I've never actually watched one video of this guy, but I've seen him in thumbnails and stuff.
I've never seen him. He's very popular. He has 12 million subscribers.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've never seen that one video. I just see him in thumbnails.
The only video I've actually watched of his from start to finish, this Moist Meter thing, he's reviewing stuff, and he is a Breaking Bad fan and a Better Call Saul fan, and I am too. So I watched that. Those are the only videos of his I actually watched. But he took his video down. I hope that means like he realized. Did he take it down? No, I don't think he did. But yeah, he just has a really no. I don't think he took it down. So he has a really bad take, and everyone in the comments is like, "You didn't get it." But yeah, I think the girl is pretty much done. Let me see. Oh,
I want the mistakes.
Let me see. Oh, she doesn't have chapters. But yeah, I wanted to talk about this IDUBBBZ situation a little bit, and I would have talked about Anissa if I could find anything about it. But I don't know. Let me see. Anissa Tanamojo. I don't see anything about it, so I don't know. But yeah. Okay. We can go to the next topic. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hear you. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, guys. I'm very silent today.
Someone re-uploaded it. Oh my God. Slur obsession. That's a good one. I like this creator, Sid Dwyer. A slur obsession. Yeah, you know, if I ever meet somebody like that in real life, I would have to ask them, what's your upset? Because they always want to say, well, I have freedom of speech. But, you know, I have the freedom. I also have that same freedom of speech, and I'm not slur obsessed. So, like, what is it? Why are you so obsessed with saying words that you know have, like, such a bad history? But, what were you going to talk about next? Oh.
Because people like the reaction.
Yeah, I want to ask them, what does that reaction do for you? What does it do for you? What does it do for you when you see like marginalized groups upset? Like, how does that please you? That's a question I would have. Why do you like that? So I wanted to talk about Elizabeth Holmes.
Oh, yes.
So if you don't remember Elizabeth Holmes, let me find her up here. She was this young girl. Well, she was a young girl.
Mm-hmm.
Ivy League, was it Stanford? Something like that. Ivy League dropout to make a company called Theranos that was valued at a few $1 billion. That would have made her like the youngest self-made billionaire. And it was all a fraud. She said that she would make this machine that could go in everyone's home like a computer, and all you do is like prick your finger, and you'll get all these diagnostics and find out early if you have cancer and all this amazing stuff. And it was all a fraud. And it was some very heavy hitters had invested in her company that she was able to fool. And when it came out that she was a fraud, you know, people started like looking back and analyzing her like, yeah, you know what? It is kind of weird that she was always dressing like Steve Jobs and she had a fake voice and this and that. So she went to trial, and the whole trial process has been prolonged because she was doing these antics. Like she would say she's sick, then she'll say, well, I'm pregnant, so I can't come to court. I'm pregnant. And there will always be some reason that she can't come to court, but it's finally done. She has been sentenced to 11 years in prison down here in Texas. It's a minimum security prison. But before she got that sentence, she was doing everything she could to like reduce the sentence. And there was this interview with D'Angelo Wallace will tell us. I think it's Time magazine, but they were like literally trying to rewrite the history of the situation. And she really thought that she could present this article. And this is her MO. This has been her MO from the beginning, to use media to paint her in a certain way. We lost her. But her MO from the beginning was to use media to paint her in a certain light that she wants. And even when people found out that it was all fake, she was using the media to kind of try to paint this image of, it's just misogyny. They just want to keep a young woman down, when actually, no, you committed fraud. So I wanted to watch this with people. I am obsessed with learning about scammers and cults and things like that, because it always amazes me how, like, in life you tend to assume good of people, right? Even if you know you can't trust everybody and this and that, and even if you have the philosophy that humans are bad by nature or something like that, you still tend to trust people. you tend to give them benefit of the doubt, and how that little speck of goodness people have can lead you into like being robbed of millions of dollars by a scam. So, Blossom, are you back? Can you hear us? Blossom. Oh, you left a private chat. So, all right, I'm not gonna play the whole video, but just let's see if we can get some highlights. Oh.
About Theranos and Elizabeth's actions, I say it's time to give this article a read. Liz Holmes wants you to forget about Elizabeth. The black turtlenecks are gone, so is the voice. As the convicted Theranos founder awaits prison, she has adopted a new persona. Devoted mother. Alright, so it seems like Elizabeth is doing a bit of image rehab here, and very conveniently timed considering her impending incarceration. Elizabeth Holmes blends in with the other moms here in a bucket hat and sunglasses, her newborn strapped to her chest and swathed in a Baby Yoda nursing blanket. So the author shares that she and Elizabeth are at the zoo having a conversation about her imminent prison time. You know, just like all the other moms. In case you're wondering, Miss Holmes speaks in a soft, slightly low, but totally unremarkable voice. No hint of the throaty contralto she used while running her now defunct blood testing startup Theranos. You know what? I actually was wondering about that. Honestly, even before people realized she was a fraud, it was still super obvious that she was speaking in a very unnatural and forced manner. Like, there's having a deep voice, and then there's whatever this is.
There should be questions, and to me that's a sign that you've actually done something that is transformative.
So it's interesting to see that she's being...
She kind of has a creepy demeanor when you look back on it. But back then, people were just enthralled. People were just like, wow, someone's so young, so innovative, so passionate. But yeah, it's kind of funny.
At least slightly less fake now? Let's see if that applies to her narrative about Theranos. I made so many mistakes, and there was so much I didn't know and understand, and I feel like when you do it wrong, it's like you really internalize it in a deep way, Miss Holmes said as we stopped to look at a hissing anaconda. I feel like the word mistake is doing a lot of the heavy lifting in that sentence. Like, there's a huge difference between a mistake that you make because you didn't know any better at the time, or a mistake that you make where you deliberately choose to do something knowing full well that it is wrong, dangerous, and illegal. Yes, everybody makes mistakes. Heck, one might even say everybody has those days. But I think it's safe to say that not everybody commits wire fraud while jeopardizing the health and safety of innocent patients. How would you spend your time if you didn't know how much time you had left? Miss Holmes said, her impending prison report date top of mind, perhaps even more so given that we were surrounded by animals behind bars. Not the 2014 Tumblr energy. How would you spend your time? Bro, this is not the fault in our stars. The fault was in your defective blood testing machines. Also, why is the author comparing her to the zoo animals? In fact, why are they having this conversation at a zoo in the first place? I feel like I'm gonna leave this article with more questions than answers at this point. Anyway, the topic of
they were trying to make Elizabeth seem like a regular mom, you know, the kind of mom who's simple just like you and just takes her kids to the zoo, not a super rich lady who's about to go to jail.
The conversation switches from Elizabeth's prison sentence to her persona. I tell her that I heard Jennifer Lawrence had pulled out of portraying her in a movie. She replied almost reflectively, "They're not playing me. They're playing a character I created." You know, unlike most times when people pull the I was just playing a character card, I actually believe Elizabeth in this case. Everything about
I just find it interesting that she also name dropped Jennifer Lawrence.
the way she presented herself in the Theranos days was just so glaringly fake. It's almost like she was some sort of misplaced character actor. So she goes on to explain why she did this, saying, "I believed it would be how I would be good at business and taken seriously and not taken as a little girl or a girl who didn't have good technical ideas." And she goes on to say, "Maybe people picked up on that not being authentic since it wasn't." Now, I understand the reasoning here, because in our society, women do have to work harder to be taken seriously, especially in a male-dominated field like Silicon Valley. But the issue here is that regardless of how she presented herself, she did not in fact have good technical ideas. Theranos' entire premise was just a pipe dream.
From the very beginning, her technical ideas were shot down. She was told, by several professors that her ideas were not going to work, and she ignored them. And then she hired her own engineers, her own senior developers, and they told her that her technical ideas are not going to work. So from the beginning, she knew.
Anyway, the author wraps up the zoo encounter and gives a recap of Elizabeth's actions at Theranos and the resulting trial and sentence, including this great quote from her lawyer, by the way. Lance Wade, a lawyer for Miss Holmes, said that his client made mistakes, but mistakes are not crimes. But like, they can be. This logic is so ridiculous because it basically excludes every single crime in the entire world. Like, yeah, I kidnapped your dog or whatever, but I now see that as a mistake. So was it really illegal? But yeah, we already know this.
It's also implying that she didn't know she was committing a crime. But the whole reason she's being prosecuted and about to go to jail is because they proved that she was fully aware that she was committing fraud.
What Elizabeth is doing as she waits. They were counting down the days until April 27th, when she had been required to report to federal prison camp in Bryan, Texas for over 11 years. The author then describes what Elizabeth was doing, from ordering takeout to singing along with music at a breakfast place to going for a walk on the beach with her partner Billy Evans and her dog Teddy. On the second day we spent together, Mr. Evans asked me what the most surprising part of spending so much time with Miss Holmes was. I told him it's that I didn't expect her to be so normal. Now I think this is an understandable reaction because in fairness, I wouldn't expect Elizabeth Holmes to be very normal either. But where this writer really started to lose me was where she starts trying to paint this really complex other side of Elizabeth that we never got to see. I realized that I was essentially writing a story about two different people. There was Elizabeth, celebrated in the media as a rock star inventor whose brilliance dazzled illustrious rich men and whose criminal trial captivated the world. Then there is Liz, as Mr. Evans and her friends call her, the mom of two who, for the past year, has been volunteering for a rape crisis hotline, who can't stomach R-rated movies, and who rushed after me one afternoon with a paper towel to wipe a mix of sand and her dog's slobber off my shoe. So I think there's two main issues here. Number one, these are not two different people that you're writing about. This is the same person who did all of these actions. Something as
Yeah, it's definitely giving like when Shane Dawson said, I'm a different person, or that was a different person. Not just Shane Dawson. Many an apology video has a line like that.
small as wiping off someone's shoe, or even genuinely great things like volunteering for a crisis hotline. These are great areas for Elizabeth to be focusing her energy on, and so it's nice to see that, I guess. But this whole, hey look guys, she has human decency angle would only work if she were to admit and acknowledge that her actions in the past were completely and utterly indecent. And up until this point in the article,
Yeah, that's the point, right? They're trying to humanize her. They're trying to show that she has empathy. She cares about people. She's volunteering at the hotline, the crisis hotline. But yeah, that angle could work if she would admit that she did put people's health in danger and she cared about those people.
I haven't seen any of that at all. The second thing is, how are we even supposed to believe that this is the real Elizabeth in the first place when she admitted in this interview that the previous iteration of her was just a complete fraud? But this is actually a question that the reporter had as well. So how could I be sure that Liz wasn't another character that Miss Holmes had created? I was admittedly swept up in Liz as an authentic and sympathetic person. She's gentle and charismatic in a quiet way. So in order to get to the bottom of this, the reporter talked to people in Elizabeth's life to see if they were buying into Liz as well. I worked my way through a list of Miss Holmes' friends, family, and longtime supporters whom she and Miss Evans suggested I speak to. One of these friends said Miss Holmes had genuine intentions at Theranos and didn't deserve a lengthy prison sentence. Then this person requested anonymity to caution me not to believe everything Miss Holmes says. I guess when you're a fake person, you wind up attracting fake friends. Who would have thought? If the people who actually know Elizabeth personally aren't even falling for Liz, then I have no idea why this article seems to think that we're going to. I tried to ask Miss Holmes this directly. How do I believe you when you've been convicted of basically lying? Wait, why is basically in parentheses? She lied, but how could I ask someone who was nursing her 11-day-old baby on a white sofa 2 feet away if she was actually conning me? And speaking of the baby.
Hi, Jessica. We're just wrapping up with the Elizabeth Holmes story, the ex-founder of Theranos.
The article goes on to explain that a lot of people think Elizabeth is just using her kids as a get-out-of-jail-free card. Ms. Holmes' defense team partly cited her 2 very young children and arguing that she should remain free while appealing her fraud conviction. A Daily Mail headline referred to the baby as a last-ditch bid for a new trial. Now, I obviously can't say whether or not someone had an entire family just so people would feel sorry for them and not send them to jail. But the fact that her legal defense team literally did try to use her kids as a reason for why she should be free right now says a lot, regardless of what her intentions were. It all just feels very convenient. But according to Elizabeth, she and Billy didn't even think she was going to go to jail when they decided to have kids. She fell in love with Mr. Evans in 2017. They did not anticipate that she would be indicted. They did not anticipate that she would be sentenced to 11 years. They always wanted a big family. I don't know what's worse, if this is a blatant lie since it was...
Yeah, like, Okay, you met him before you were indicted. That doesn't mean that's when you got pregnant. Like, if you, I'm not gonna do the math of the timeline right now, but girl, she I mean, this is her MO.
Obvious to anyone with a brain that she would wind up facing jail time over this, or if she's actually being honest.
Like, when she met her now husband, she went to Burning Man. Okay, you're not going to Burning Man when you're pregnant. Anyway.
And she genuinely thought that she was going to get away with what she did. But yeah, according to Elizabeth, this was all just the power of.
She strikes me as a little delulu, which, you know, you always need a little bit of delusion to do anything great, right? But she had just a little too much. She had a little too much. And I think she did. I think she thought she would get away with it, or more like she just didn't want to think about it. She just didn't want to think about it. And if I don't think about it, it's not a problem. It doesn't exist.
Love. Finding your person in the middle of all of this and experiencing that love when you're going through hell is the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced. I'm really glad that she was able to turn her crumbling empire built on lies into a beautiful experience. If only the experience was as beautiful for all the people who worked at Theranos and wound up losing their job because you decided to burn the company down by lying to everyone for years. Anyway, speaking of Theranos employees, Elizabeth goes on to claim that Sunny Balwani, aka the other person who caught criminal fraud charges over this, was not only abusive and controlling, but that he was actually the one behind the homesification. She said that Mr. Balwani forced.
So what's messed up is Mr. Balwani was like her boyfriend, okay? And he was way older than her. He met her when she was between the ages of 18 and 20. I'm not sure which one. That's when he met her. And he was like already in his 50s, I believe, or at least late 40s. And yeah, he started dating her. He is controlling. He is controlling. Their relationship appears to be toxic to me. And I also, you know, when somebody who's that much older than you and that much richer than you is your controlling boyfriend, yeah, like, that's something that I have an issue with. However, when it came to the fraudulent stuff, like with the fraud of the company, it was all Elizabeth's idea, like entirely, you know, like definitely, you know, bring up if abuse happened and this and that, and he made me do this and that. But the one thing that we can actually prove he did not do, and he was not controlling you, was the plan, the initiation, and the perpetuation of fraud. Ironically, I mean, in the only area that we needed you to show that he was the one in control, your phone calls, text messages, memos, emails, everything shows that it was you in complete control of that aspect, which that is, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of impressive, right? Like, if she didn't have all that evidence stacked against her, maybe this angle of my way too old for me boyfriend was controlling me could have worked, but the evidence was there against her.
Her to stop talking to her family and Stanford friends and pressured her to adopt the black turtleneck red lipstick persona. Now, there's absolutely no doubt that Sunny Balwani is a horrible person as well, but the idea that he's the one who turned Elizabeth Holmes into Elizabeth Holmes is such a cop-out that even the author checks her on that one. I asked Miss Holmes to clarify what she meant. As CEO, wasn't she in charge? She said that Mr. Balwani did not control her every interaction or statement at Theranos, but she, quote, deferred to him in the areas he oversaw because I believed he knew better than I did, and those areas included the problematic clinical lab. So now her story.
Yeah, but that's not, I don't even have to say he will say what's wrong with that.
Is that the devastating lab visit that wound up getting Theranos banned from blood testing wasn't even her fault. Great to know. Again, what good is this just a harmless mom act when she can't even acknowledge the extensive harm that she did in her years at Theranos? Anyway, the author realized she wasn't going to get any more accountability out of Elizabeth here, so the topic changes to the enchanting love story of how Lizzie met Billy. While her entire legacy was falling apart, she was falling in love. They went to parties together, they went to the Burning Man festival, they went on a cross-country road trip. Even though that period was a crisis and Theranos was my life and like my child, I gave everything I had to it, she said. After it was gone, I also became free. Well, I hope she enjoyed the freedom while it lasted. But of course, lest we think Elizabeth was having...
When Theranos finally fell down and crumbled down and there was literally no hope, like, it's over. Because, remember, she got a little delulu in her. So, like, when the whatever government entity was shutting it down, she was still, like, going to work at 8 a.m. like nothing changed. But when she finally came to grips that it's over, okay, it's time to leave the premises, she dropped the act. Like, she reportedly, people who were there say that it was like a completely new persona came over her. And like, she went from this trying to be intimidating type of CEO to, I'm Liz. Like, completely different persona. And oh, I want to hear some, like, you know, these psychiatrists, psychologists who are on YouTube and they're basically pseudo-diagnosing people from their armchairs. I kind of want to hear, you know, what y'all think about that?
Having too much fun. The author tries to paint a picture of how hard it's been for Elizabeth after Theranos, since people would always recognize her and then she and her partner would have to move. However, something tells me that the fact that her boyfriend came from a wealthy family and was pretty much loaded probably made it a lot easier for them to move around nonstop. Mr. Evans took a few calls for work while I was visiting. I asked what he does. A lot of different stuff. Investing, starting companies, he replied without elaborating. With the absolute lack of substance in that answer, this man should have been a PR spokesperson for Theranos. They then mentioned Billy's father, who has the deranged take that people are more critical of Elizabeth Holmes than they are of literal terrorism. By Billy's father, William L. Evans' tally, there are over 67.6 million web results on Miss Holmes, all of them negative, compared with 21 million results, many of which are positive for Osama bin Laden.
Wait.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try to positive for
What?
all of them negative, compared with 21 over 60th homes than they are of literal terrorism. By Billy's father, William L. Evans' tally, there are over 67.6 million web results on Miss Holmes, all of them negative, compared with 21 million results, many of which are positive for Osama bin Laden. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to formulate a response to that. Elizabeth's own father has a similar stance as well, that people are being overly critical of her. Everybody got on the train that Elizabeth was evil, and it was great copy, and they took it and ran with it, Miss Holmes' father, Christian said. Yeah, but like, everyone was right though. It's not like this was just some small thing that people blew out of proportion. Elizabeth Holmes...
But also, you know, parents are parents, you know, that baby's your baby for life. No matter how old that baby becomes, that's your baby. So I can see why a father would say that. You are being too mean.
Holmes was a billionaire who exploited people less fortunate than her, aka literally everyone. That is pretty much the textbook definition of being evil. But if that was not bad enough, Elizabeth and her supporters actually go on to claim that all of this happened not because she was this evil, fraudulent billionaire, but because she is a woman. Miss Holmes's defenders, stretching back to childhood, said in letters to the court and in conversations with me that the feverish coverage of Miss Holmes' downfall felt like a witch trial, less rooted in what actually happened at Theranos.
There goes the misogyny. So whenever somebody says witch trial, you know, the witch trials, Salem witch trials, it was all rooted in misogyny. There were a few men who were, you know, wrongfully convicted of being warlocks. I don't know what they would call them, but it was mostly about finding women that you didn't like, you thought she was out of turn, out of her place, and you want to see her go under. Sink, B, sink. But nowadays, people can use witch trial to the same way people use manhunt. But also, the more intelligent the person, the more likely they're using witch trial to also imply there's misogyny involved. And with Elizabeth's track record of constantly trying to spin the narrative about how people are hating on her because of misogyny. Also, don't get me wrong, I 100% believe there is some form of misogyny in the commentary, in the conversation. I mean, no, yes, like 100%, there is misogyny a part of the conversation. People were talking about her looks, trying to say like she sexually wowed her way into these rich men's pockets, which is absolutely not what happened. These investors, if they were looking at her in any kind of way, it was as a father figure. But anyway, definitely misogyny is a part of the narrative, but at the end of the day, you still did what you did. You committed fraud. The facts are facts. They're right there. We see them, and you can't run away. Like, misogyny may be present, but you still did what you did. And anyway, I just had to point that out because that's a little nuance that I think people would miss. Like, this witch trial here, because it's Elizabeth Holmes and she has a track record of this, is supposed to imply the misogyny as well.
And more of a message to ambitious women everywhere. Don't girl boss too close to the sun, or this could happen to you.
What did I tell you? Okay. And she brings up the girl boss. Okay.
Once again, Elizabeth is trying to twist the very real issues of sexism and misogyny into this contrived fantasy that will magically excuse her actions. In reality, Elizabeth Holmes made things far worse for women in the field, because now if a woman has a startup, she's gonna have to beat the Theranos allegations before she can get any sort of funding. But even at that still was not the most delusional thing she said in this interview. By far, the worst, most delusional take in this entire article comes when the author asks what would have happened if people weren't motivated to take her down just because of her success as a woman. What does she think would have happened if she hadn't garnered so much early attention as the second coming of Silicon Valley? Ms. Holmes does not blink. We would have seen through our vision. After all these years.
I like how they added Ms. Holmes does not blink. I'm 100% imagining, hold on.
Coming of Silicon Valley. Ms. Holmes does not blink. We would have seen through our vision. After all these years, after the deposition and the trial.
I 100% can see that. Like, I can see that she's like, I'm Liz, mom of two, at the zoo. And then what would have happened if Theranos made it turn into pseudo Steve Jobs? We would have completed our mission with her big eyes. That is her business persona. I could just see that.
In the sentence, Elizabeth Holmes wants us to believe that Theranos would have actually been a viable company. And if that's not bad enough, this article is trying to convince us.
This is why it says, Sage said not the Delulu, but for real the Delulu. She really believed. If y'all watch that one girl on Netflix, what's that girl that she was in New York? I don't remember her name. Hold on. New York scammer. Netflix. Anna Sorokin? But what does she go by? Anna Delvey. Okay. Very much Anna Delvey, who Anna Delvey believed too that she would have had this beautiful art foundation if you just believed in her and just gave her a little bit more money. It definitely would have come to fruition. And Elizabeth Holmes has that same mindset. Like, no, this definitely would have worked. I just need more time. I just need more money. Like, y'all did not see the vision. Elizabeth, and it's crazy that she's still, this is why, and you know what's dumb? She did this interview to try to appeal to the judge, to try to get sympathy from the judge to lessen the sentence. This interview would make the judge want to give her a longer sentence because it shows that she has no remorse.
Thus, that Elizabeth actually believes this herself. When Ms. Holmes uses the messianic vernacular of tech, I get the sense that she truly believes that she could have, and in fact, she still could change the world, and she doesn't much care if we believe her or not. In fact, the article literally just starts defending her at the end without even trying to hide it. She didn't seem like a hero or a villain. She seemed like most people somewhere in between. I'm running out of ways to say this, but most people did not scam their way onto the Forbes list by endangering innocent patients. Sure, this article successfully presents Elizabeth as a mother or a partner, but it doesn't successfully present her as being a better person now because it's really obvious that she's not. Over the course of this 5,000 word article, Elizabeth Holmes does not use the word sorry even once. There's not a shred of remorse here. In fact, the only thing Elizabeth actually expresses any sort of sadness over in this entire interview is the loss of her company. No matter how you look at it, Elizabeth is a lot closer to villain than most people are even capable capable of becoming. As Miss Holmes broke down thinking about what her children will be like in 11 years, I kept going back to her central promise at Theranos. The technology that she invented would, in her words, create a world in which no one ever has to say goodbye too soon. And there
Is she still saying that? Broke down thinking about... Oh, that's what she used to say.
she was preparing to do just that.
Wait, she broke down?
I kept going back to her central promise at Theranos. The technology that she
Oops, what did I do to the audio?
say goodbye too soon. And there she was, preparing to do just that. And there we have it. The article ends by trying to frame Elizabeth Holmes as being just as much of a sympathetic victim as the people she was endangering at Theranos. Literally, what did I just read? So that's the story of how Elizabeth died. This person is, of course, referring to the 2 original photographs taken for the interview in which we see Elizabeth.
Right. Completely different than how we see her. Like when you look up Elizabeth Holmes, Theranos, the image that people have is this. Big eyes in the black turtleneck. And there's this one particular image that's not coming up. But there's this one particular image that I can't find it. But anyway, you see what I mean. Hair up, all black, completely covered. And they took her photographs like this. This is mom version. Like, she looks completely different, right? Like, obviously she's older now, but completely different look in the clothes and the hair and the makeup, trying to show us that she's
Elizabeth Holmes' new style. She really thought that all she had to do was trade in her turtleneck for a Target sweater, and then everyone would just magically forget about her controversy. Ladies, get yourself a man who loves you as much as the New York Times loves rehabilitating the reputation of white-collar criminals. It really does come across as some sort of weird pseudo-romance between the New York Times.
What's funny is this didn't get by anyone. Nobody fell for this. You know, nobody liked this. Everybody's calling it out, and everyone's like, the New York Times of all publications? Do y'all not care about your hard-earned reputation? So anyway, I wanted to talk about that. Anyway, the plan didn't work. She's going to jail. It did not lessen her sentence, and I forgot how many years her ex is getting. But anyway, I'm sure in another decade, we are going to hear from Elizabeth Holmes again. Honestly, I don't think she'll end up serving actually 11 years. I'm not an expert in prison or anything. I've just heard that if you get sentenced to 11 years, you're expected to actually serve less of that. And then I think Elizabeth has some tricks up her sleeves. I think, what if she cuts it down to half, 5 years? I don't know. But either way, this is not going to be the last that we hear of her. But yeah, I thought it was funny. When I read through that article, I was like, y'all are not serious at all. So, yeah, they're totally trying to play into that. It's almost like they're grinding for the next target. Oof, I don't remember what you're referring to. But anyway, so Blossom logged off early. Obviously, she's sick. She's coughing up a storm. I'm really hopeful that the cough drops I got for her will work. They're supposed to come in tomorrow. And let me see. What's the name of those cough drops? They're called Fisherman's Friend. Original Extra Strong. So, they work for my boo. I hope they work for hers. But thanks for watching. That's all the topics that we're going to talk about today. We talked about Elizabeth Holmes. We talked about Colleen and Trisha Paytas. We talked about IDUBBBZ and the many opinions about him expressing regret for his past content. And we couldn't think of more things to think about. So I think I would like for people to start leaving comments about what kind of controversy and drama they want to hear us talk about. So like we can talk about what y'all want to hear about. You know what I mean? Oh, you know what? This Illuminati, I don't know how to do it. This Illuminati drama. I'm so subscribed to her. I wanted to talk about this, but it's so much stuff, and I was getting really bored. I was like, okay, what? Her room is messy. She stole your car. What's going on? It's so much stuff, and I just thought, by the time we live stream, this is going to be old news. I promise you, though, every day for the last month, somebody has been uploading an hour-long documentary about Illuminati. So I don't know. If people want to hear about it from us, we can do it. I just ugh. Okay.
Hello.
Oh, you're back. I was literally about to just like end it if I'm able to.
Yeah. So my phone died.
Oh, your phone died. Okay, I thought you were
I was
talking.
using my phone, and so.
Oh, you froze. You froze. We can't hear you now. Can't hear you. Oh, you're frozen again, and you're muted. Okay, talk. You're muted. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. You're frozen.